So today, we're going to talk about something really cool. It's how a massive 270-kilometer hiking trail in Sweden is basically becoming a model for the future of mapping. It's called the Stockholm Archipelago Trail, and it's being turned from just, a line on a map into what's called a living, breathing digital twin. Let's dive into what that actually means.
Okay, so first, just try to picture the challenge here. You've got this 270-kilometer trail, but it's not one continuous path. Nope, it's this huge network that's spread out across dozens and dozens of islands. To get from one piece of the trail to another, you need to take boats and ferries, and every single one has its own schedule. If you're not a local, where do you even begin to plan a trip like that?
Well, for any hiker, but especially for an international visitor, the problems pop up immediately. All the information is scattered across different websites, and most of it's in Swedish. You're trying to juggle all these ferry timetables that change with the seasons, and you're constantly asking these really critical questions. Where can I find drinking water? Is there a shelter anywhere near here? And what in the world happens if there's an emergency? It becomes a total logistical nightmare, and fast.
So yeah, a simple line on a map just isn't going to cut it, right? It doesn't solve any of these problems. But what if a map could be more than that? What if it could be a living, intelligent guide that actually answers all those questions for you in real time? This is the whole idea behind creating a living digital twin for the trail.
So what exactly is a living digital twin? Well, think of it less like a traditional map and more like a dynamic digital copy of the entire trail system. It's interconnected, which means a ferry stop actually knows its own schedule and which trail section it connects to. And crucially, it's always being updated, and it's built from the ground up to be accessible to absolutely anyone in any language.
The difference here is just fundamental. A traditional map, like a GPX track you download, is static. It's just a line. It's fixed. But the digital twin, that's a living web of data. It's not just one layer of information, it's dozens of layers you can dig into. And because of how it's built, it's naturally language agnostic. This isn't just a small upgrade, it's a complete paradigm shift in how we think about mapping a place.
So how do you actually build something like this? You might expect some giant tech company to be behind it, but nope. This is a passion project built on an open, collaborative platform called Wikidata. You can think of Wikidata as the brain that stores and connects all the information for the trail. Let's take a look at how it all came together.
This quote right here really captures the incredible dedication involved. The project's creator didn't just design this sitting behind a computer. No way! They walked the entire 270 kilometers, took over 4,000 photos, and personally created the first database with more than 600 connected data points.
And that number, over 600, that's just the starting point. But each one of those points isn't just a pin on a map. It's more like an intelligent object. A ferry stop knows its schedule. A water source knows if it's drinkable. A shelter knows its exact coordinates and even has photos. Everything is connected in this massive, searchable knowledge graph. This data density is what makes the digital twin so incredibly powerful. Just look at the breakdown for some of these trail sections. Uto and Nataro each have 55 distinct connected data items. Orno has 54. This isn't just one big map, it's like a collection of super detailed, queryable databases for every single part of your journey. And this is where we really move beyond simple geography. The whole point of the project is to create a universal guide by layering all this essential data directly onto the physical space of the trail itself.
Right, and this quote gets right to the heart of the project's philosophy. By using a knowledge graph, the information isn't stuck in one language. A water pump is a water pump, whether you call it vatten, water, or agua. The data's structure itself breaks down those language barriers, which is what makes it such a game changer for international visitors.
And this becomes incredibly practical when you look at the kind of life-saving data that's been cataloged. We're talking about the exact locations of 28 different drinking water sources, 26 defibrillators, more than a dozen shelters and campsites, and 56 different ferry stops. This is the kind of information that can turn a potentially dangerous trip into a safe, manageable adventure.
But hey, it's not all about survival. It's also about actually enjoying the journey, right? The database includes 82 barbecue areas, 29 restaurants, 14 grocery stores, and get this, even 12 saunas. Planning to rent a bike or maybe a kayak? There are 24 different rental locations all logged in there. This kind of detail allows for some amazingly personalized trip planning. And here's the proof that the whole language-agnostic approach really works. Look at this.
Well, every single item has a Swedish label, and an incredible 98.5% also have English labels. And beyond that, almost 90% of the data is available in dozens of other languages, everything from French to Arabic, all because of the structured, collaborative way Wikidata works.
So, what does this all mean? What's the big picture? Well, this project is way more than just a great map for one hiking trail in Sweden. It really represents a potential blueprint for how we document and explore the entire world.
You know, the creator of the project highlights a really common problem. Traditional approaches often rely on these super expensive, proprietary platforms that become outdated almost instantly. This quote just captures that frustration perfectly. Millions are spent on these poor digital platforms when better, more sustainable solutions like this one already exist.
Because what this project proves at the end of the day is that there's a better way. We can move away from these closed-off static maps and toward open, collaborative, and living databases that anyone can contribute to and anyone can use. It's a tool that's truly built by the community for the community.
And that really leaves us with one final big question. Just imagine if every national park, every city, every hiking trail on the planet had a living digital twin like this one, a universally accessible, constantly updated guide right in your pocket. Is this the future of how we explore our world? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.